Hello and good morning, my friends. Welcome to Friday, TGIF. We made it. Not only did we make it to Friday, we made it to Mercury direct. Take a deep breath. One more planet is in direct rotation, and we can start to shift through that energy. Now, I do apologize. I had hoped to be live doing this session. I really enjoy the live sessions. Unfortunately, I had a number of clients go into crisis last night, or, well, I'm recording this early in the morning on Friday, early this morning, and I needed to help them shift through that transition to Mercury direct. That said, I wanted to make sure you guys did not miss out on the information for the week ahead, because let's be honest, it's been a challenging couple of weeks. And next week offers a lot of fun things because we do have on Thursday the International Peace Day. And to celebrate that International Peace Day, the Tuesday before, I am going to be releasing a peace healing to bring in that peace and harmony that we really need right now. And then for all my geeks and nerds who are Lord of the Rings fan, I don't have to tell you what happens on September 22nd. Because all of us are going to be having breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, lunch, etc. Because Friday is Hobbit Day. Bilbo and Frodo Baggins' birthday. It's kind of an iconic day. And then, of course, Saturday we have the fall equinox and Libra coming in. Lots going on for the fall, like for next week. So we want to make sure that we are really present to enjoy some of these pieces. Now, like I said last week and throughout this week in my live sessions, really important for, well, now and as we transition into the weekend, to shift that energy within ourselves, within our space, because Mercury, while it was in retrograde, it brought in a lot of funky, stagnant energy. Take the time to release that from you and your space. And be aware, you may have to do it multiple times, especially if you have multiple people in your home and they're in and out of the house. So just keep an eye on that energy level. That said, let's look at this following week, September 17th through the 23rd. We're already halfway through the month, guys. So the tarot deck I have here, this is the Tarot of the Divine. I wanted something that was going to be a little bit uplifting and inspiring. And then I'm pairing it. This is the Loracle Oracle. It is beautiful watercolors. Again, that uplifting and inspiring. Let's be honest, we need that right now. Okie dokie. So let's look at this. September 17th through the 23rd. What can my friends expect for this week? Oh, dropping half the deck. Hand-eye coordination is bad. It's been a long night. So, yeah. When you jump half your deck on the floor, no, that's not a shuffling error. Or sorry, not a jumper. It's a shuffling error. Yeah. So use your judgment on that. So the first card, the Four of Cups. How wonderful. I don't remember the last time I saw this card, but those colors just make me happy today. Ooh, the King of Swords. Like I said, that color. It just brings a smile to my face because it's been pretty dreary It's been hard. And the Seven of Swords in reversal. So this week, guys, really positive. If we stay mindful of what's happening. And when I say that, that emotion is going to be pretty tight still. Remember, we still have half the cosmos, or 2/3 of the cosmos, still in retrograde, plus Chiron. There's a lot of funky still going on. We also have, like I just finished saying, the Mercury retrograde energy still, it'll be with us for a couple more days. It's going to start our week off, and know that there are people who are really not coping well, and we know those people. We may be one of them. What's more, our colleagues, our friends, our family may be them as well. Please be mindful of other people and where they're focusing you and kind of pushing you towards. That honesty to self about what you can deal with, being aware of what other people are dealing with and how they're coping. And then what's more, how are you going to go forward? We need to be using that frontal cortex, that third eye thinking center. The King of Swords is in control. We need to be in control of self. The swords, what's more, is not about that emotion. This is Mr. Spock himself. He does not really do emotion. Be mindful of that reactivity. Be mindful of the hurt and pain that other people are triggering, or that you're triggering and pushing on other people. We have to be aware and make good choices as to what we're going to focus in on, how we're going to react, and what's more, problem solve and create solutions that are going to be more high vibrational and less trying to get away with something, less argumentative, less conflictual, just dumping some of that grr, if you will. The Four of Cups is really telling us we need to be very mindful of that, where we're putting that energy. What are we focusing in on? Do we want to keep manifesting that blah, and in some cases that heartache and pain, that stagnation? Or do we want to start to reach for a little bit of a higher goal? Even staying in that frontal cortex, that third eye thinking center, and creating different solutions. Going on that high vibration is going to support you in a very different result, because you're grabbing hold of the Holy Grail. You're starting to bring in, well, other options. You're going to be modeling behavior that can support others so that they too start to make better decisions for them and those around them. So be aware that your choices are going to, well, they always matter, but this week is going to be very, very poignant, very important that we're focusing in on that. The more truthful we are, the more we're using our third eye thinking center, the more we are making very conscious and intentional choices, the better we're going to find this week. Especially as many of us are really feeling really discombobulated. All right. What will support my friends in, oh, there we go. Really staying in that control of self. You cannot control others, but control of self. Creating those solutions and bringing forward something that is going to be more positive and less stressful. Let's be honest, the conflict, the challenge, the fight, that's stressful. It's not fun, and it really does take away from our experience. African Lopajack, travel, reverse, and safari. And it's really in that reverse, thinking outside the box. We don't want to keep on the same. We need to think differently, right? Creatively. And it may look, or at first glance, kind of scary and funky. But the more you get used to it, the more you realize that that solution might need to be a little bit more funky, a little bit different than what we're used to. Ooh, back to the color. Chinese mountain phoenix. Worth, comfort, regeneration. That self-worth is going to be huge. Making those choices for you, being honest for you. We need to make sure that we're not putting ourselves on the back burner, that we're not pushing away positive aspects, that holy grail, when it comes forward. And many of us do that, where we're confronted or faced with something that is really positive, that can really fuel us. And what do? Oh, someone else could use that. Someone else might enjoy that more. I'll just wait. No, work with that energy. Sure, share if it's something that you can enjoy with others, but sometimes, you know what, we deserve that pat on the back too. Dragaroo, passive, enemy, and bounce. It is in that bounce. We do not want to add more challenge. We do not want to be in that passive aggressive situation. When that conflict starts, when those words start to fly, that's when we need to be making those positive choices for self. We do not want that reactivity. We want to make sure that we're giving ourselves space. If we need to give ourselves space, ask to go to the bathroom, just say, you know what, I'll be right back. Take those breaths. Give them the space, give you the space. Diffuse the situation. It's in little things like that that are going to make the biggest difference. That creativity, that flexibility that we need. Because we don't want to perpetuate some of these heavier energies, the conflict, the challenge, because we've got enough of it right now. All right, what further support, information, and guidance can we share so my friends can make those positive choices, so that they can enjoy this week, grab hold of that holy grail, and feel better, feel less stressed, less conflict. And I'm sure you're hearing my dog. He is like sawing logs. The amount of Reiki that I pushed through tonight was crazy. And yeah, he loves it. It's like, ooh, nice. I'll sleep. The Five of Swords. Really confirming and recognizing the conflict, the anger, the frustration. Be very aware of it. Do not avoid it. Don't run into it, but don't try and put yourself in a situation where you're hermiting yourself or avoiding situations or people because you're trying to avoid that conflict. Some of that conflict will just wait. So just be aware that that conflict is there. It sucks, yes. However, we can start to diffuse these challenges, diffuse the situation through using our head. Got a lot of swords here. Using that third eye thinking center, that frontal cortex, to ask questions. And maybe not of people, because they're going to be reactive, but of self. How can you make this better? How can you diffuse it? And what creative elements do you need to add in so everyone shifts vibration from conflict and challenge to one of positivity and high vibration. The Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands talks about those ahas coming from the universal energy and, well, shooting down to the ground. They're coming towards you. This talks about that creativity that I was talking about. This talks about movement. And eights in tarot talk about abundance. So we do have that abundant creativity, the kind of the first inkling or the first pieces of that harvest, because we are coming up to the full harvest moon as well. So we are getting into that harvest energy. That abundance is there. We just need to start to acknowledge those pieces rather than getting caught up in some of these traps, some of these stumbles that this week is offering you. The Queen of Wands. She is that sassy, dominant, all that in a bag of chips queen. It is going to be important that we utilize our skills, our abilities, and of course, in our own way, that is going to help shift some of this gunk and bring in that positive. We've got lots of creative, very abundant energies, and we've got that Holy Grail. They're not outweighed by the challenge. It's just the challenge is easier to focus in on than the Holy Grail and these creative elements. And we do have a lot of creative elements, lots of that fulfillment, that passion-based creativity, and of course that emotional, intuitional-based creativity. Use that yin and yang, my friend. The only thing that's going to hold you back this week is going to be your limitations that you put on yourself for creating solutions, problem solving, and embracing that Holy Grail, those life-giving aspects. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that this helped you to look at next week and understand some of the complexities and challenges that you're going to be faced with. If you did like this session, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It does help people find me on the sea of YouTube. More importantly for you, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little red bell. I have so much more coming forward, you don't want to miss any of it. Also, if you're looking for an added layer of support, I do have a Ko-fi and Patreon page. I provided links below, so why not go check it out? Again, I want to thank you so very much for joining me. And I hope that you are able to grab hold of that Holy Grail this week and see some of this abundance come forward. Until tomorrow, my friends.